I do feel like the majority of Republican voters would be really put off if Donald Trump, like, dropped the hard R on stage. I think that the majority, the vast majority of Republican voters are some level of racist, but I don't think they're aware of how racist they are. Most people who are bigoted don't, like, consciously know they're bigoted, right? Like, there are tons of sexist guys, just not like red pill Andrew Tate types, but just regular guys living their life. A lot of them are fine people who just have sexist beliefs. That's a product of their culture. I'm not saying that's not bad. It is bad. I'm just saying that's how bigotry often works. And for a lot of them, they don't think they're sexist at all. And much the same way, I don't think a lot of Republicans think they're racist or sexist or whatever. With transphobia, it might be more difficult because a lot of them have been educated into believing that there's no such thing as transphobia because trans people aren't real or whatever. But let's one step at a time, you know. And I think that if Trump dropped the hard R on stage, a lot of them would be like, whoa. I don't think the median Republican voter would hear Trump drop the hard R on stage and they would go like, yeah, yeehaw, we're doing it now. No more lying, or now we're open with it. I don't think that would be the response to it. I don't think that would be the response to it. So I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit like overly optimistic of me. I still do buy into the belief, and maybe this is like very naive of me. I still don't think that America has the sauce for real totalitarian death camp shit. I still believe that, like, there are plenty of Republicans who would do it, but not a majority. I think a majority of Republicans are still sociable enough that they would recoil at the real consequences of the policies they support because they're stupid, if that makes any sense. Like, they're all for Trump deporting 20 million, but then they find out that fucking, you know, Alejandro, their coworker who they get beers with after work, he has mixed immigration status, or like he didn't initially come here legally, but he's been working here for 11 years. Oh, whoa, 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 hold on, Gestapo. Alejandro's is like a real one, you know. We've been getting along for ages, you know. He's not like part of the MS-13, you know, Hamas death cult or whatever. You get what I mean. I don't think that degree of interpersonal hatred has festered much. I will say, though, that's what they're trying to do with the Haitians. What they're doing right now with the Haitians is the next step forward. They're doing it specifically to Haitians because that's a sub-community, a smaller one that most Americans don't have a direct personal connection with the way we do with, I don't know, Mexicans. A lot of Americans know Mexicans. That we live right next to Mexico. There's a lot of Mexicans in America. A lot of undocumented immigrants in America from Mexico. I know. First they came for the Haitians, and then they came for the, you know, the Venezuelans, and then I know, I'm aware of that, which is why I believe we should stand firm at every stage of the process. I'm not saying that we should be complacent here. I'm only saying that I don't think that degree of interpersonal dislike has fomented sufficiently for a great many people in this country. You know? Does that make sense? This shit isn't even working in Springfield, Ohio. I think that Springfield, Ohio might actually end up being either the catalyst for them or the pushback, the catalyst for the pushback. Because what if, in spite of everything, the community of Springfield, Ohio never rises up against the Haitian population there? What if no pogrom happens despite all of the attempts to instigate one? What if there are no lynchings? What if the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio are just being chillin'? And what if the average resident of Springfield, Ohio, they might be racist, they might be superstitious, they might be conspiratorial, but at the end of the day, they don't have the sauce, either because they don't want to or because they can't. It doesn't happen. Don't you think that's a really positive sign with regards to my point? The idea that, like, even when there's such a concentrated effort to instigate, to, like, they're not just like sparking a flint, like they're trying to torch it with a flamethrower. And even in an environment with that much pressure in it, they still don't buckle. They still don't, like, instigate a pogrom. I think that could be a very positive sign. Not saying all of this is good news, or that, you know, Haitians in Springfield have... I've gotten emails from people who live in Springfield, by the way. You know, sounds like a damn nightmare over there. But a lot of the terror is coming from out of town. The death threats, the bomb threats, out of town. The Proud Boys marching, they're from out of town. It's not the people in Springfield, Ohio. Sure, there are racists there. But, you know, maybe I'm just being optimistic. Pogrom, Gernla, P-O-G-R-O-M, pogrom. Though the Pilgrims did commit some pogroms. That's what I'm saying. Outside agitation will occur whether they want it or not. Yeah, but that difference is massive. Proud Boys, bomb threats, those could happen anywhere. They literally move around. That could happen in like the middle of Washington, D.C., and it has. Washington, D.C. is the most blue like city in the fucking country, you know? What matters to me is whether the domestic population of Springfield, Ohio can be mobilized with propaganda like this into instigating the pogrom themselves, you know? The terror in Nazi Germany was not that the SS could show up. I mean, that was a big part of it, right? The big terror, and this is a huge like component of totalitarian governments, is the fact that your neighbors were ratting you out to the SS, right? It's not just top down, it's bottom up. And that's often the difference between an authoritarian and totalitarian government. Have they been able to sufficiently weaponize the paranoia of the common people to get like children ratting on parents, you know, teachers ratting on students' parents because they hear the kid repeating terminology that is verboten or whatever. Like that. I'm simplifying here, and I recognize that, and I'm certainly not fucking downplaying the SS or whatever, you know. I'm just saying that that is an integral component of what people like J.D. Vance want to happen here. That's what the Nazis want. The Nazis do not want the process of deporting 20 million immigrants in America to be cops going door to door and then having to fight tooth and nail to get every single person out of their homes or away from their friends. What they want is an uprising from white America where they turn over all of those undocumented immigrants. That's why the fascist mythology of the day we rise up, the day of the rope, the storm, the uprising, those are never just the government does X. It's the white population rises up and does X. You see? It's a core part of the mythology. The whole idea is that they're inspiring this barbarity from people rather than just, imposing it via policy. Yeah, that's why the Kristallnacht had to happen. That had to happen for the Nazi regime. Like that was a deliberately manufactured component of their. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. You have your laugh, people. You have your laugh. That was why the German government was so interested in like instigating the Night of Broken Glass, even though nothing happened in the Night of Broken Glass that they couldn't have just done with military and police. Does that make sense? Like. You look at the Kristallnacht and it's like, oh, these businesses got broken into, these people got hurt. Well, the police could have done that if they'd wanted to. The point was they want the average German to be doing that crap. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm making a good point here, and you know, you're all going to skip over it. You're going to say, oh, it's you know, we could pay attention or we could be goofy goobers. And I would posit that you can be both. You can be a person who pays attention and a person who is a goofy goober. Very good point, Professor. Thank you. I'll take him as best as I can. Thank you. I'll take what I can get. Ay, ay.